once more here, bringing you a live commentary. As you all know, we have decided today to have a conversation as to what the reason could be behind the decision of the Southeastern governors to abandon a project that they had agreed in principle. If you remember, July 2019, they had a meeting in Enugu when they were deliberating on how to secure the Southeast. They agreed to work, work out some issues regarding the headsmen menace, and one of the strategy was how they can do that using the regional security outfit. And we also saw when the Yorubas formed their Amotekum and everyone was really in high spirit that the Yorubas have started doing something. And suddenly we saw last week that they went to Enugu and the Inspector General of Police was there. And, you know, that was it. Nothing eventually came out of that. So this evening I have Ugo-Akpe Onwuka, that is the Oyi of Oyi the second. We have the Oyi of Oyi the first in the person of late Chuba Okadibo. Now this is the second. Oyi, we greet you.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you?
My
Can you?
brother, I greet you. I greet my people very well.
Okay. So as it is today, I want us to probably kick off with your understanding of the security structure that was agreed by the governors. Can you give us an insight? I mean, as you and I know, it's something that we've been doing for a long time. That is the issue regarding Enugu International Airport. And I think it was in one of those meetings that they met with the Minister of Aviation when the concept of forest guard was first mooted in Enugu. That was when that was actually agreed. And eventually we thought that we will be seeing a collective approach to our security, to securing lives and properties in the southeast. So I don't know what your take is on that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Maazi Ezeoke.
Mm.
First of all, I would like to say that the issue of security when it comes to the Southeast is one that I think we played to the gallery with. Firstly, like Omahe confirmed, the governor of Ebonyi State, that the Southeast governors or the Southeast as the region started working on these security outfits way before the Southwest came on with the Amotekun idea. Now, I think having said that, there's no seriousness. That's to put it bluntly, because if you look at the urgency with which the Southwest is approaching the issue of security in the Southwest, you'll find out that we are joking down there in the Southeast. When Ohanes and other stakeholders agreed with the governors, it wasn't as if there was no agreement. If you had read Ndukeya, his last interview, Ndukeya made it clear that there was an agreement. On the Sunday, they had a meeting. And then by Wednesday, they met with the IG and the other security operatives, and then all of a sudden, they came up with the community policing thing. There's
But, but
a wide gap between community policing and the regional security network that
that's what I was.
Amoteku is.
Yes, that's one thing I was trying to.
Yes.
First of all, we have a consensus here that from onset, the concept and what we were to do in the Southeast was never community policing. Community policing is an
No.
afterthought. Now
Yes.
the question is, we have these agreements. Yes, the concept of the regional policing, a regional security outfit is, as
Yes. Yeah.
the same thing in line with what the Southwest has done. Now, at what
Exactly.
point, as we know, the meeting that they had in Enugu, that was last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
My understanding is that before that meeting, that the governors met before in the Enugu government,
Yes.
which excluded the traditional
Yes.
leaders, the traditional rulers, the Ohaneze Ndigbo president, and some other key stakeholders. And as they came out of
Yes.
that meeting, they
Yes.
started addressing the people, saying that the Southeast will no longer pursue the regional this, that they would actually go into what they call the community policing, which is a
Policing thing.
concept.
Yes.
Now, we probably need to define what do we understand by community policing, because it's a convolution that people don't, as we speak today, know what it is. What do we
Yes.
understand by community policing? What's your take on that?
Okay. You see, I don't know, P2B, when he set up the AVS, Anambra Vigilante
Vigilante services,
Services,
yes.
yes, there was a system that was being run. I don't know how efficient it is today, but under P2B, it was working perfectly well.
Mm.
That is what you can term community policing in the real sense of it. You understand? Now, but what we are looking at with what they are presenting to us, I don't think these people will be paid.
The community
You
police.
understand? These people, they are, yes, these people that will be recruited, how would they be remunerated? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're working on a security outfit that will guard your people, do you have control of that organization? You do not. It is controlled from outside your powers as the chief security of the state. So sometimes when we look at these things, we need to be very unemotional about it. What the Southeast governors would have done was give life and verve to Amotekun and then let us have the same kind of structure. Yes, I agree. The Southwest have gone back now to raise bills in the House of Assemblies, and then collectively, you see, the interesting thing is the collective nature of the approach to this security issue in the Southwest. You find out that the conference of speakers in the Southwest, they came together, they had certain agreements, and simultaneously they are all moving. All we
But
hear from our people is, we shall, we will. When?
yeah,
How?
hold it there. Do you think the Amatekun is working? Because Amatekun is nothing, it's as some people have described it, as a paper tiger. It was dead already before it
Well,
even started. Because we do not operate a regional government structure. Now, suddenly, the Amatekun comes up without any ratification by any of the state assemblies. Whereas in the case of the Southeast, if we take a step backwards, one, Anambra State have what they call Anambra Vigilante
AVS
Service, yes.
services.
Then in
Yeah.
Abia State, I heard that Abia State is have a bill being debated in the State House of Assembly. Enugu State already have what they call the Forest Guard.
Forest guards,
It's a
yes.
question
Yes.
of having Ebony ratify theirs or kick off theirs and Imo State.
You-
So I think, if we look at it this way, the concept of having a bottom-up approach where this is something that will happen from the states, because that is what the law
Yes.
recognizes. The law does not recognize any
Yeah.
any in any supra state in that sense. The law recognizes the state
Yes.
assemblies. They can make these laws. If you remember, when there were issues of herdsmen in Ekiti State,
Yeah.
then the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose,
Eye of
was
fire. Yeah.
the one who empowered and where the state assembly empowered the local hunters to
Yes, and
stop
created the
movement.
anti-grazing bill law.
Exactly. So in this case, if we are trying to kind of examine what has happened here, is it a case where the Southeast, because again, we didn't hear that Ebonyi and Imo State is going back to their state assemblies to do something. Now the question will be: is it a case of having something on a state level, or a total disconnect or discarding of the initial idea of a regional outfit?
Okay, I think from the beginning we need to separate it well. You see, what the Southwest did, there's a balance that if the animal starts running in a certain manner, then you start firing with a certain manner. You understand?
Mm.
Things got out of hand in Nigeria. It's clear to everybody. Pafashoranti's daughter was murdered, and up till today, we are hearing stories. No concrete results from the investigations.
Go ahead.
It's been devastated by herdsmen, and nothing is happening. So I think what Amoteku is like a bullet reaction to what was going on in.
I think
Hello.
your connection dropped, but it's fine. You're back on.
Yes. Okay, it's back again. Okay, yeah. So what I'm saying is that it was a quick reaction to the kind of thing that was going on in the Southwest, and I support it. If they hadn't taken that kind of quick action at that point, now if you look at the way they are forming it, just recently, a few days ago, Lagos State is trying to ratify a bill now that would break some of their Lagos State internal vigilante services into Amoteku. That should tell you that it is not the regular thing the Southeast governors are talking about.
Mm.
Because Lagos State has their own security outfit within Lagos State, community policing. Exactly, that is what it is. Now they want to take out some certain aspects of that operation and put it into Amoteku operation. Now, what Amoteku operation or regional security is not like creating something that is unconstitutional. No. What it means is that the state assemblies would have this understanding and synergy that is fluid and works. That when somebody commits crime in, for instance, Lagos State and is moving into Ogun State, there's a system, there's an understanding between the two states to coordinate. Yes, the police has that kind of thing spread all over. Now, but if you want it to work efficiently, and you're talking about police, community policing, why are you now saying these people doing this thing, they are wrong? Because that's exactly what you're doing in a more efficient manner.
Mm.
Do you understand? Now, for the Southeast, okay, we've taken the back seat. The Southwest has taken the lead. Now, we've seen where they made maybe slips here and there, like what somebody said the other time to us, that they are now going back to ratify these things and give them legal backing. Good. So that means we have had a good head start against the others. Now, what do? Have you seen any bill raised in any of the state assemblies so far
Well,
in this direction?
yeah, but they ought not to. The states that already have, and I think
No, that's what I'm saying. Some
someone
of
just
them
sorry,
have. Anambra,
yeah,
Enugu, Forest Guards.
MK1 here on the chat said that
Yes.
I believe that Abia State Security Forces is already backed by the state law. No, I think that is not correct, because the last time I think
No,
that is still something being debated now. I don't think that is correct. So in
no, that
that
is not
case,
gone. It's not been
but
passed.
in that case now, why, the question is, and that is the crux of this evening's conversation: what or why do we think that they backed down? Because I found it curious. A day before, actually, if you remember, 2 weeks when the governor mentioned that Enugu State Airport will be opened on the 31st, a
Yes, the
week before,
preceding story was about the
exactly.
bridge.
So
They
if
made it clear.
a
Yes,
week before, he was saying that they were coming to Enugu to ratify, okay,
yes.
to ratify the gray areas. Suddenly,
And
they
then
came
give
to
it a
Enugu.
name, and then give the
And
organization a name.
exactly, exactly. So anyone following will know they said they were going to ratify and give it a name. Suddenly, out of the
Yes,
blues, we saw the IG of police join them in that security meeting. Nyanwodo was not allowed, and I don't know how true, but my information tells me that Nyanwodo was angry and he actually walked away with some traditional leaders. And till date, I actually have it in the information that he was actually not in support of this community policing, because community policing
yes,
means
yes. Modo
absolutely
is
nothing.
very clear on it. Modo is very clear that he will not support a community policing arrangement. He prefers a mass synergy between the Southeast states that will work.
Because if you remember when they were begging Buhari for the 10 billion naira for the rehabilitation of Enugu, they said
Yes,
that they will do their palliatives and part of their work will be a joint patrol of the southeast.
yes.
That was when they appointed one General Omahi. I can't remember his first name.
Obiumahi, yes.
Obi, exactly.
Obiumahi,
They
yes.
appointed General Obi Umahi to head the regional outfit. Now the
Yes.
curious, that's the why.
Inaugurated in August 2019.
Exactly. I think about 21st of August or thereabout, or I think either 19th
Yes,
or
yes.
21st. And the question is, why did they back down? Why did they back down?
I,
What is it?
the-
Because I can't get my head around it. Why did they back down?
I think they will be in the best position to explain that. But from where I sit and view things, I believe that compromises have been made because, like my people say, there are some things you don't think about just in one night.
Mm.
You understand? Serious thoughts went into this whole thing. There are men, these are men, these are administrators, these are leaders. And before they took that decision, I'm sure a lot of things were put into consideration. But my take is that whatever it is that was put into consideration, I think the people were not part of that consideration. That's what I believe. If the people were actually part of that consideration, I think a different approach would have been taken. And that approach would have been where the people are standing. Where are your people standing? Your people are standing with these other groups who says that they want a regional arrangement, which we have already started a process on. Omahe confirmed it was a Southeast idea, which the Southwest picked up
Good.
and they've
Exactly.
already done well with it. Yes, the records are there. It's in the public domain. You understand? Now, why would you want to go against what your people want? And that raises the question again from your question. Why would anybody want to take actions that is not in line with what the people he's leading wants? That is I think that these are questions that if they have their aides or they themselves can start giving us explanations, because the truth is that we as the youth of Igbo land, we are beginning to get a little bit upset with the way things are going. And surely we shall make sure that we do what we can in our generation to save our people and to safeguard our land and make sure that things doesn't go out of hand. It is in man's nature to protect himself, and that I'm sure that the youths of Igbo land will do, and it's
So,
good time to.
like
Yeah.
uh, like um, like Dave Umahi actually rightly pointed out, and you hinted that, for our viewers, for people listening, the concept of regional policing was first in July 2019, started and driven by the Southeast Governors Forum.
That was
But
the day the committee was raised, and then they were
exactly,
inaugurated in
exactly.
August.
So the question is, they started it. The Southwest bought into it, ran with it.
Moved
Not
on.
only not only that they bought into the idea. I know who sold the idea to them. They bought it. They drank it. They accepted it. They defended it. I don't know. Would it be fair to say that the southeastern governors probably have failed their southwest counterpart if they dropped that idea?
Effectively and efficiently, yes, because it's like you told me, let's do this, and then at the center of the whole business, you back out. You leave me in the cold. That's what it looks like, and that is exactly what it is. You see, and that's why sometimes I would advise leaders to be circumspect when they want to speak, because that statement last year in July, when that committee was set up, gave a lot of confidence to other regions to start thinking in that direction, like the Southwest did. And today, we can all attest to the fact that no serious effort was actually in place at that point. Because as we speak, that means that committee, whether they did their job or not, nobody knows. And unfortunately, I'm sure state funds must have been expended on that committee since it was inaugurated in August 2019. We need to start getting answers from these people, Maazi Ezeoke. Enough of this. You understand? If you set up a committee with the people's money in August 2019, they worked August, September, October, November,
December and
January,
January.
and then you come out in February and tell people that all the monies you've paid them is a waste. Then you need to give us account of these things. You see, I think it's high time we start telling these people the way it is. You
Yes.
understand? Enough of this. Enough of this.
I
It's
can't
sad, but
I can't agree with you. I can't agree with you more. I mean, it's obviously what you're saying is the truth. There is reason to hold our leaders to account. It is quite sad because I
yes,
remember I couldn't forget that name. Reason why I remember General Umahi, because at some point I was thinking I still don't know if General Umahi is a relation of Dave Umahi, because he was the one appointed to head
yes.
that.
As the chairman, yeah, to head that committee,
Yes.
Southeastern Security Committee. Yeah.
Which now
I don't know if it is a
what
relation. I
what I
don't have the
also what
details.
I also found curious is what could be the reason behind Ebony State and Imo State not taking the first step of getting a state vigilante, because it appears even if you want to go regional, before you can go regional, which is like the Lagos State House of Assembly were
Each
discussing.
state must have their
Yes,
system. Yes.
like Lagos State was discussing yesterday, the Lagos State House of Assembly, they were saying that the Lagos State,
Yeah.
what's it called? There is a name, not community police. Lagos State, can't remember I can't remember the
It's
name. So they were to take care of Lagos State. Then the Amotekun would take care of the forests and the boundaries,
yes.
which in the Igbo
Yes.
nation, it could be the same. Anambra State Vigilante takes care of the Nnewi Onitsha, your
The
village,
mainland. Yes.
the
Main
mainland.
cities. Yes.
Then the
Yes.
joint security patrol will be between Oka and the Enugu, the Amansi area, between Enugu
Yes.
and Ebonyi, those forests, between Imo and Abia,
Yes.
those areas that
Yes.
could be,
Yes.
that
Yes.
could be
That's
very
what I
hard
explained
for.
earlier that they were trying to ratify in Lagos. Yes.
Yes. So that is the model the Yorubas are taking now. The question will be, you know,
Yes.
and where do we go from here, actually? Where do we go from here? Because Nyanwodo is not happy. He kind of felt betrayed because he came to that meeting with some Igbo leaders and the traditional rulers that they come for ratifications, not for a total new
A
program
new arrangement.
being
Yes.
thrown up. Now, as you have been reading, I know you must have read it like myself. Many people believe online that the whole conversation changed the moment the Inspector General of Police joined in that security meeting. What's your take?
But it's obvious. If you had an agreement on Sunday and on Wednesday, the man showed up in Enugu and things went topsy-turvy. It's obvious it's the fallout of that visit. So I don't think that's ambiguous. It's very clear, clearly well stated out. You see, the man came in with certain hard talk or soft talk or whatever, but I know that kind of talk went on and then people decided to resign,
But
take back the words.
if you
Yes, but
remember,
I think it was
the Southwest governors also met the same Attorney General. Sorry, met the same
yeah, Inspector
Inspector
General.
General of Police,
Yes,
and equally met the Attorney General of Police.
yeah,
Sorry, they met
yes,
the Inspector General of Police and equally met the Attorney General of the Federation. Now, these are
yeah.
two people that they met and they discussed these issues. How come they stood their ground, but our own governors changed into an unratified, because the community policing is nothing but a conversation
It,
that's
it,
still being
it is now
held.
that they will start looking at the documents and then start
Exactly.
coming up with ideas and all that. And while you're doing this, they are killing our people. You
So,
know, it's just like a deliberate time wasting
effort.
scheme. You know, just keep them on the long leash. You know, while we do what we do, it's not interesting, my brother. It's
So,
not interesting. The governors should just sit up and do what they are supposed to do. You know,
so it will be fair to say that, you know, if the governors as a collective, that is, as their body says that they are the Southeastern Governors Forum, if they have failed out,
for yeah,
that does that mean we need to fall back on our various states to ask them? You know, many people from Anambra might say, well, at least we have ourselves covered, but aside Anambra, there is actually no state in the Southeast that has a very organized, legally state
vigilante
funded
service. Yeah,
within the Southeast. That means the other four states in the Southeast
are
is
left
not,
out in the cold
yes. That's, you know, the thought of it is not palliative. It's not in
at
any
all.
way, it doesn't give confidence. That means if anything happens, as we know, sometimes
It's been happening.
we had
It's been happening.
last weekend, a week today, we had this case of, I can't remember the town again, the report by Charles Obu, where a woman,
Yeah,
you know, came back. I can't remember, I think it's in Kano local government, right? And
Kano, so yeah, yes,
the house was burnt. And burnt by who? We knew them. The people that came with their cows. They were looking for feed for their cows. Yet
then you burn down someone's abode.
not a single person was arrested. Something like that wouldn't have happened if they were, or if we had security men from the community manning that community.
And that brings you to the question: where are the forest guards?
That is the question. Where we are the, whoa, or rather put it this way, where were
Where
the
were the
forest
forest
guards
guards?
when the house burned? They were nowhere to be found. Are the forest guard only guarding the Enugu State government house?
Metropolis or the metropolis, because these things will not happen in the center of Enugu. These things happen in the remote areas, and that's where they are important, and that's where the Amoteku thing, like you're seeing it play and playing out now. Yes, I agree. The Southeast governors should take their time, but you see, when you're taking your time, you also take your time with tact. People's lives are being taken, people's properties are being destroyed. There's no concrete evidence that there's something being done to get these things solved. That is where the problem lies. People feel that not people feel, that's what people see, you know, that there's no serious efforts to get these challenges dealt with. You know, it's all about grammar, and we are going to do this, and we have it in mind. Yes, we know everybody has things in mind, but it's doing those things that becomes a problem. So we believe that the governors can do far more than they are doing now. They can do better than they are doing now. In fact, they are not doing well. There's not no need to sugarcoat it. They are not doing well. They're not doing well. Enugu state government with their forest guards was a good initiative to a certain extent. You understand? But if you look at the operational aspect of it, which is not what you discuss openly, though, you find out that there are flaws. And that is why the kind of incident that happened that Charles Ogbu covered took place. Those are certain areas of that operation that needs to be worked on. You know, but if it's going to be worked on, let us start doing something. What I do not like is we will. When are you going to start doing it? That is the point. Since Wednesday they met with the IGP, what is the report of the progress they've made, even in the direction of that community policing? Ask
No,
them.
you see,
Find out.
the danger here is you're not going to make any headway with community policing. Community policing is
It is not going to.
it's not even a bill at the National Assembly. It's not even been discussed, debated. It's not even been, it hasn't gone for second reading. It hasn't gone, so it's nowhere
Yeah.
near coming to life in the nearest future. And that is one thing that we are hinging our faith in. One would have expected, granted, if community policing is going to be accepted by all, in the information seen so far, community policing actually, you wouldn't be the one selecting or employing those that work within the community policing. So that still be the police who do
Mm-hmm.
that. Now, how can those you don't
Mm-hmm.
entirely trust?
How can you come from outside and select people to
Exactly.
work with
So
or within our community?
those you don't entirely trust to run your local securities are those you are still going back again to say, come and select people that will guide me. That is absolutely not.
Yes.
So you see, when you
Doesn't
look
make
at it
any
this way,
business sense.
it doesn't make sense. When you analyze it and you look at it this way, what I think would have been the best strategy for the southeastern governors was to say, we will go ahead with our regional security outfit. Then, if by the time the federal government, maybe there are one or two things they might learn from our regional security outfit, if by the time
Yes.
they come up with a better plan, if need be, we can collapse ours into
Collapse.
theirs,
Exactly.
but not waiting, because what I don't understand, and what gets me slightly angry here is you're waiting on something. It's like you're
That is
waiting.
not even existing.
Now someone is hungry. I use this analogy. Someone is hungry. You said, okay, hold on, I'll go to the farm. I'll go and plant cocoyam. Cocoyam is not
Yes.
what you plant and you come back from the farm immediately and eat. That means you plant the cocoyam,
You have to wait.
you have to wait. There is a gestation period. There is,
Yes.
because this is something that has to go to the National Assembly. No law goes into the National Assembly and comes out in the next 1 or 2 months. It takes a
Hmm.
long time. We will be
And
lucky.
now what they are doing is that they are doing consultations across the states. How long will that take? Across the regions. How
Whereas you're
long will
doing
that
that
take?
and your people are already dying. I found it very, very absurd. And that's the reason why we've decided that we're going to make it a conversation tonight. And we will eventually, viewers, we will take maybe one or two, let's say maximum five questions. Then you can direct the questions to myself, Maazi Ezeoke, or to my good friend here, Ugo-Akpe Onwuka. Then we can attempt to answer those questions. So think about your questions and type them out. We can shoot the questions on the screen so everyone watching can see that on the screen. So, my brother, I mean, it's what is the way forward? What do you think is the best approach that we can? Because obviously, the youth are not
The
happy, and one wouldn't equally call people out to the streets, but something must give way because we cannot, if this policing strategy does not come out in the next 2 years, that means we will have nothing aside what the
yeah,
Anambra state government has.
yeah, which is currently not very efficient though. Uh, there are so many limitations to what they are doing currently, but still better than nothing.
Yes.
I think what we need to do is to escalate the pressure on the Southeast governors. We need to make them understand that there's much expectations from them, and so far we are not seeing any being fulfilled, and especially in the direction of security. We need to be speaking with one voice in the Southeast when it comes to security. We need to be definite and resolute when we want to treat issues that has to do with our safety, and security. The youth must stand up at this time. We are not calling people into the streets. No, what we are saying is that from your own corner, from your own little effort, sensitize people, let them know the situation we are in. The Igbo man would say, "No, binilo na It is not an aberration, you know. When you have a certain cloud of danger lurking around you, you need to be very careful and cautious. That's just what we are doing. We are trying to be very cautious and security conscious to make sure that we take care of our people and then get things done the right way. In the coming weeks, I think we are going to be pushing more campaigns to get our governors to do the right things and then interface with the people, know what the people want. It is not what you want, it is what the people want. Let them not forget that. You can't come and tell us what you want us to take. We tell you what we want. We put you there. You did not put us where we are. You know, we need to start making it very clear to these people that times have changed. Over time it has been this way, but it's not going to be business as usual. The masses will stand up now and make you understand that we put you there. You
Okay.
cannot go there and represent yourself in our best interest. No, 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 no. It doesn't work that way. You don't represent yourself in our best interest. You represent us in our best interest. It is our opinion that holds. It is not your opinion. Yes, you can bring your own wonderful, but what have the people decided that they want to do? If you look at the Southwest, you find out that even their leaders in the ruling party, had no option but to fall in line with the ideals of the people, the ideas the people have for their security. Then on our side, we have those who should be pushing like the Southwest governors, being the one now to they can to discourage us, but they can rest assured that we are not going to stop. Instead of stopping, we are going to increase our tempo and make sure that people get to know how it is, and then get them to do the right things. If we keep quiet, okay, understand, we will not be at home and she go to deliver in theaters. So that's what we are going to do. We're going to hold them responsible, very, very responsible. And
So,
personally, I would start off a campaign on them giving us account of what happened with that committee from August last year to this period.
and
We want
how
to know
much
how much was
and how
spent
much was expended?
before you packed up that organization. Yes, what was expended on that committee that ended up, their reports ended up in the trash can.
Well, for the
We
benefit
want
of
to
the
know how much we lost in that venture.
so for the benefit of the viewers, once more, that is Onwuka speaking, and we've been doing the Enugu State airport reopening campaign together. So, I think this is something we might not take just like that. We have to do something about it. And part of the things, as he has already said, is that we have to start a campaign to hold them to account and to see how we can pressurize them for them to do the right thing. Now, what is the right thing? The right thing is that we have to see,
People want.
you know, we have to see. They have to make and, change that decision. If you watched, I don't know if you watched Ike, former Deputy Senate President Ike Kuremadu. If you watched his interview
Yeah.
yesterday in channels, he clearly says it that the community
What
police,
they're talking about, waste of time.
yeah,
Waste
he
of
just said
people's
it's a
time.
scam. He said it is a scam. Therefore, he
Yes,
agrees with us. So there is nothing
yes.
like community policing. Rather, because it's either we do a regional policing or we do state police. There is no
Simple.
two ways about that. Simple. So if the government was saying, okay, we are going to give you people state police, now collapse your regional police, then that will make sense. Everyone return to status quo.
It's a scam.
So it's a scam.
Scam.
And I mean, and that's what it is. And we are not afraid to call it what it is. The community police,
Exactly.
we have looked at it from all angles. It does not make sense. It is nothing
Doesn't work.
but a scam.
Yes.
It doesn't work. And it cannot work because, again, I bet you that this administration has up to May 29th, 2023. That's barely 3 years. They might
Yes.
get to the end of their tenure without us seeing the community police. It
And
doesn't.
then what happens?
And exactly. So we have nothing. I mean, it's absurd. We have nothing. We have no regional, no states.
The truth is, the body language of the administration is also not helping. The boys who massacred people in Nimbo and recorded a Nollywood movie out of it, they were going to show their friends and family.
Mhm.
They were arrested. Where are they today?
No one knows.
The ones that kidnapped the Reverend Father in Enugu, we heard one was picked up. Where is that one today? You keep hearing stories, people are being killed, a lot of things go on here and there, and they tell you stories, arrested. Please, we want to see prosecutions. We want to see sentences handed down. It is not, and these are things that you did not tell a leader to follow up on. I tried pushing the Nimbo case for quite some time. That never had any headway. Today, nobody knows where Muhammad Ezeoke or whatever his name is, and his boys are today. The governors, what are they doing? What are they
Honestly,
doing?
I am yet to understand the type of power or the type of magic used by the Inspector General of Police on the governors that they had to, soft pedal and backtrack on something that they have sold to the Southwest. Amotekun,
Southwest is running with it.
Amotekun was, the regional security idea was that of the Southeast, which was sold to the Yorubas. The Yorubas now have it, they're running with it, and what are we doing? It doesn't speak good of us. I thought this is a time to make amends, time
Sorry.
to build fences, time to start a new leaf. In the olden days, we only hear stories of what Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, and others did. Now, this is a time to build and strategize, have new allies.
Yeah.
But suddenly, this is not confidence building. If we take this path, we're not building,
No, not at all.
we're not building confidence, and this is really really worrying. This is really
Yeah.
worrying. So now let's go to the comment section. If you know,
Okay.
if we have questions, we're going to be wrapping it up any moment from now. It is already how
Okay.
long? So that's about 44 minutes. So we'll be wrapping it up any moment from now. Any moment from now. If you do have your questions, type in your questions, then we can attempt to answer your questions. And Michael Chuku, I think, is a comment that rather than a question. He says sometimes we Igbo have to behave like intelligent people. Yoruba I have their own security. Hausa have their own security. Igbo are begging for their own. Well, we are not begging. The Hausa one you talked about, Operation Shege Kafasa, has been
Yeah,
owned. I mean, the Sultan of Sokoto has said that that is nothing but arrant nonsense.
that they're on their own.
They're on their own.
But
And
anyway, they've not been proscribed. They've not been proscribed, and they've not been arrested. So Maazi Ezeoke, I don't think, as far as I'm concerned, they are nothing. They
okay.
still exist. The government has not disbanded them. Have you heard
Oh,
that?
they do not.
Oh,
Well, they do not exist in the real sense of existing of it because that they
no.
granted.
This is why issues come up in this country, and we need to address them. If you say somebody came up with something illegal, what do you do to make sure that we believe it is illegal? Pick the person up
Mm,
and hand down punishments. Now, but when the person is still walking around free everywhere, and you're telling me what he did is illegal, so when you do illegal things, you still walk around free. That's how it operates here.
mhm.
Do you
Wow.
understand?
Someone.
So you see, sometimes it looks like you play me from the left, and then you want me to run a little bit to the right, and then you chase me from the right, and then I come to the left.
It's
And
cat and mouse game. Someone said.
yeah, game,
Um, someone made a comment that is Emisami said. The IGP told them that their region will provide the vice president come 2023. That's what they. That's that's more like conspiracy theory. Were you in the meeting with them, Emisami?
Are you to meeting with them?
uh,
uh,
and another question
Funny.
from Uche M. He says, "Can we get more information from the governors?" The question is how. How would you
How?
do that? How would you get more information if they do not?
Yeah, that's why we need to start asking them questions, and
Exactly.
then we'll demand answers from them. Yeah, we'll
Hmm.
demand answers from them. They are responsible to us, they are answerable to us. We put them there.
Hmm.
Unless they are saying we did not, then we'll start asking them, how did you get there?
So
Uh-huh. So if we put you need to answer to us.
John Okoye from the United States of America says, "Let's face it, Nigeria is afraid of anything that will bring Igbos together. I mean, we are already together. I think Nigeria is afraid of anything that will bring Southern Nigeria together. Because for me, the wider strategy here is, if you remember, we have the Northern
Whole
Governors.
Eastern region.
If you remember, we have the Northern Governors Forum, and
Mm,
it may interest you to know there has been serious obstacle why we cannot have Southern Governors Forum that will comprise the Southeast, South South, and Southwest.
Southwest,
Suddenly,
yeah.
suddenly, Amotekun or regional security outfit appears to be a bridge.
The rallying
Bring
point. Yes.
exactly, but before it already started, something came and it already hit the rock. It's an unbelievable thing. If you think it deep, it's not,
Mhm.
that easy as we can, or rather we see it. There is something
Yeah.
deeper that is happening that most of us probably don't know.
Mm.
Okay, so again, my brother, thank you once more, for your time. And in closing, what we have to do is that we will keep on holding the governors to account.
Accountable.
We
Yes.
will begin in the next couple of days, we will begin this campaign
Ask them
by
questions of what. Yes, what went down with our monies with that committee?
Exactly, because this we know this committee was inaugurated in July. Um,
Yes.
you know,
So set up in
no,
July,
they set
inaugurated
up
in
in yes,
August,
they were set up in July, inaugurated in August. Now we want to
and started
know
work
what they done within August, September, October, November,
October,
December, January.
November, December,
5 months.
January.
So 5 months.
Yes,
We believe that within these 5 months they got some, well,
funding
honorar or whatever you call it.
jobs. Yes,
So we want to know what they've done with the money, and also
and
we want
the paperwork, what they've done before their paper was trashed.
exactly. So we want to know. It is time to start demanding for answers from the. No society will change if the led
People are not held
if the
responsible.
led
Yes,
are just keeping quiet. We must hold the leaders accountable. That's why they are leaders. That's why they are there. We must hold them to account. And part of what we do on individual level, collectively, is that we will begin to trying to mount pressures on them to come
exactly.
public and tell us what has happened so far.
What has happened to yes to
Okay.
the arrangement so far?
Mm. So, your closing words, my brother.
Well, my closing words: we must be very vigilant, and we must be willing to ask questions and to demand answers, and that is the way to go at this time. Enough is enough. This is time for reckoning. Is here. Time to ask questions and get answers.
Okay, he said, I would anchor on that. The day of reckoning is here. It's
Is
time
here.
to get.
Yes,
It's time to ask questions. You said to get answers, and I will add, it's time to ask questions and demand for answers. Because if we don't demand
yes,
for it, nothing ever come to us.
yes.
Once more, thank you very much, and thank you, viewers.
You're
Have a
welcome.
wonderful evening. We say bye.
Bye.
So, Oyi,